one in the head, I do not have the kite. Try spot in the projects, I made in my office. We deep in it, bitch, burning cake in this fire. Got Carters and cafes, I'm drinking on coffee. When I hit the east, I get treated like Gandhi. Keep us my circle, these niggas get mixy. Need some more riders, I'm trying to get busy. I need some more flour, I need about 50. To find a real nigga, I fit the description. Cartier bifocals with the prescription. Know about the growing shit, I'm having wisdom. Count up for 80 by watching the Simpsons. Found about Ben on Lamar and the Ravens. We super strong niggas, ran and ravens. Stealing for cows, we push up and take it. Plug on deliver, he personally bring it. You need 100, then I can arrange it. Fucking on popular bitches who famous. Crib out a million with 30K base. Before we gon' swipe, we gon' cover our face. Fly for that bag, then it's off to the race. C4 with growers, I know. Walk in my trap and get slapped with a boat. Ain't got no love for no thought or no hope. He'll put that fight to a robber, I know. Yeah, I know. Right with the cannon, I let the bitch blow. We having racks and it bitches, you slow. That boy be putting that shit on, I know. Ain't got no love for a snake, you get murdered. Youngest with me, they gon' crash like a server. Them niggas throwed off, you know they berserkers. Weighing the Play-Doh, I eatin' a burger. Go hit the east, I get treated like Trump. Suck 30 pounds of the shrooms to the gump. Big money hit the rotunda for lunch, but the test was diamonds, it probably a flunk. Louis, New York, I get sent to the back. Exclusive drip, this is not on the rack. You smell this shit before it come out the vat. Used to get bald niggas, shout out the sack. This shit is falling, zoom in on these diamonds. These niggas jealous, they hate it, we shining. Shopping in Frisco, I'm 49, I'm with a thick hoe, getting saliva. They tried to kill me, but I'm a survivor. Nigga try to steal me, I'm tapping his visor. This is a covenant, this not a crisis. I'm out in zone with peace out of Kyla. Shopping in Denver, right in the Shador. Rich nigga hit the grow house in DR. Binary trigger gon' shoot like a fully. These niggas pussy remind me of Sooty. For growers, I know. Walk in my trap and get slapped with a boat. Ain't got no love for no thought or no hope. He'll put that fight to a robber, I know. Yeah, I know. Right with the cannon, I let the bitch blow. We having racks and it bitches, you slow. That boy be putting that shit on, I know. For growers, I know. Walk in my trap and get slapped with a boat. Ain't got no love for no thought or no hope. He'll put that fight to a robber, I know. Yeah, I know. Right with the cannon, let the bitch blow. We having racks and it bitches, you slow. That boy be putting that shit on,
may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. How's everybody doing this morning? How is everybody doing this morning? Morning. Happy Wednesday to everybody. July 3rd. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. All right, today I want to talk about SWOT. SWOT analysis, something I believe that everyone should do prior to starting any business, right alongside or incorporate it into your business plan. All right. I want to make a poll real quick. Have you let me see. Have you created a business? Let's see. Yes. And then we're going to put no. Start poll. Let's do a poll real quick. Let's see. All right. So we got a poll up. Shout out to Brandon Williams. Shout out to Asma Rowland. Shout out to Kurt Morris. Happy Wednesday. Shout out to all the moderators. Shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. Shout out to all the subscribers. All right. This is one of those live streams that's going to be boring. You know why? Because it focuses on the things that you need to focus on prior to starting your box truck business. You know, all the things that people don't do and then get in the business and complain and don't understand why the business is failing because they didn't do what they were supposed to do prior to getting in, right? Like, why do you need a business plan and all this, that, and the third? And then you don't understand what you're doing after you go out and spend your money. And you are finding it hard to maneuver and navigate through this treacherous world of business that you thought was going to be a piece of cake or a walk in the park. Shout out to All in One. Atlanta building. Shout out to everybody. So the poll is up there. Make sure you contribute to the poll one way or the other. Make sure you're honest. All right, so we can get the true sentiment of the space in the room. All right, today. All right, so I'm going to just get straight into it. I know today's July 3rd. I know some of y'all want to go out later on tonight and pop fireworks and blow your fingers off. So let's get straight into it. Let's talk about SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is something that you need to do prior to starting your business. It's something that you can incorporate into your business plan. SWOT, SWOT. It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. All right. Something that you ultimately need to do. If you haven't done it, you need to do it. We talk about business plan. We talk about market. We talk about competition. We talk about leverage. We talk about things that you're supposed to do prior and consistently throughout while you're in business. All right. Today, let's focus on SWOT. All right. I'm going to use myself as a case study in today's current times. Right. I'm going to use myself as a case study in today's current times, and I'm going to use myself as a case study in my current situation, not from a standpoint as if I were coming into this space or entering into the space July 3rd, 2024 as a novice, entering into this space currently from an experience standpoint. All right, I'm going to do a SWOT analysis. I'm doing it on the fly, right? I haven't put anything down, so this is all off the top, just to give you an example of what you should incorporate into each category. So SWOT, SWOT, S stands for strengths, W stands for weaknesses, O stands for opportunities, T stands for threats. All right. So if I were coming into the space now and I was creating a SWOT analysis, I would be creating it for a box truck, a 16-foot box truck, right? I would be creating it from a standpoint of one man, right? I would be creating it from a standpoint of one man deliveries, all right, one man small moves, one man gig opportunities, all right. My strengths would be my experience, all right. So that would be the main strength. I'm experienced. I already know how to navigate in this space. All right, from a mental educational standpoint, from a hands-on standpoint, from a market standpoint, from a competitive standpoint. I already know what to do, where to go, how to do it, how to go about it, how not to get, taken advantage of, how to use leverage, how to, lean on people, what to accept, what not to accept, what to charge, what areas I want to go in, what areas I want to focus on, what areas I want to stay away from, the demographic that I want to cater to, the demographics I want to stay away from. Right? I already know this. This is a strength of mine. Relationships. Right? If I need to tap into relationships of the past, if those people are still in certain places, then I can do that. The fact that I have a successful YouTube channel in the space, and that has become successful due to my experience and me leveraging my experience to help other people out, right? There's companies that have reached out to me, executives of these companies, founders of these companies. I can use that as leverage to put myself in a situation because I can barter, opportunities, right, for, let's say, content and promotion. All right. That gives them more visibility and I'm utilizing my influence to and this is business, put myself in a position whereas an individual who may be coming into the space who may not have the experience or the influence that I have, the relationship that I have, may not be able to. All right. So you may be looking at someone that may be watching this, may be looking at that as something that's not good. But what I teach on this channel are just things that are just obvious in business. Leverage is something that's obvious. Listen, favoritism plays a part. People that have more leverage get ahead than people that don't have leverage. All right. It's business. It's not personal. I did a live stream a few minutes after LeBron's son got drafted. Yes, it's evident that LeBron's son wouldn't have got drafted if he wasn't LeBron's son. That doesn't mean he's garbage. He's definitely not garbage. He can be any average player that's walking down the street today. But in the pool of talent that's NBA bound, yes, he made it because he was LeBron's son. LeBron used his leverage to get his son drafted into the NBA. It was a business move. It was a business move for the Lakers. It was a business move for the league. It was a business move for LeBron and the family, right? That's just business. Leverage plays a part in business. And if you're not the individual who doesn't understand that, you're gonna find it hard to make it in this industry. Leverage is a strength in business. I've given examples of how I use leverage throughout my tenure to get ahead. Some people look at it as bullying. Some people look at it as taking advantage, right? But here's the thing. It happens. It's always happened. And you have to understand, you have to create some form of leverage, especially if you're wanting to grow and to scale in this industry. All right. You have to create leverage. All right. You have to create leverage. Leverage is a strength. There's nothing wrong with having leverage. All right. So those would be my strengths. Another strength that I could throw in the pot is dependability. Understanding that when you structure a business or you create a business entity, and your name is everything. Your reputation is everything. You will acquire business, right? Based off your credibility of business name, credibility as you as an individual who owns and operates a business. I think a lot of people don't understand the importance of dependability and just the ethics of business ethics of being an individual of your word. If you say you're going to do something, you have to do it. I see a lot of new entrepreneurs. I see entrepreneurs that aren't new who say one thing and don't follow through with what they say. If you say something and you agree to something in business, then you have to follow through with it, even if it costs you down the line. If you didn't do your research or you just jumped out the window and agreed to something without fully understanding, let's say, what it costs for you to operate, then that's not the recipient's issue. You can try to renegotiate, but if you throw yourself out there and there's a contract that's involved, then you got to accept that loss. Another form of dependability is being where you said you were going to be. If you have a consumer or a customer that you said, listen, I'm going to have a truck there, or I'm going to be there at 6, 7 in the morning, and your friends call you the night before, or your homegirl calls you the night before, and you end up finding yourself hanging out all night, and you oversleep, or you don't want to go because you're tired, then that's not that person's problem. Ultimately, that's going to affect your business. So dependability would be something that I would add to my list of strong suits. Now let's switch from the S, from strengths, over to the W. No, to the O. Let's go to W. Let's spell it in the correct manner. So weaknesses. I think what a major weakness, if I were to enter right now in the current state, especially if I was looking to re-ramp up and scale, one of my major, if not the most major weakness, would be sourcing talent. All right, sourcing talent, retaining talent would be probably the two biggest weaknesses of it. But going back to strengths, let me add some more strengths. Another strength of mine would be capital. All right, I have the capital. to sustain a new business to go along with my experience. All right. So now weaknesses would be sourcing talent, retaining talent. Another one would be uh, uh, um, fluctuations in the economy. All right, something that is beyond my control, because fluctuations in the economy ultimately affects consumer buying behavior, right? And if I come in from a, let's say, a curbside final mile perspective, or let's say a moving perspective, weaknesses in the economy can ultimately affect consumer buying behavior. Weaknesses in the economy can also affect how people, let's say, move, right? You have less people buying homes due to the lower supply of houses on the market, right? So if I were to ramp up my moving business, let's say, that I would probably see a decrease, let's say, in the current times, and larger moves, right? Because people who would be looking to sell their homes to profit on the increase of the home market right now are sitting still, because one, there's less supply out there, and two, they'd be selling the house at a profit to and at a lower interest rate to go out and buy another home that's probably overvalued than what it really costs at a higher interest rate. So you see a lot of homeowners sitting still. Now, the smaller trucks, right, due to the way the economy is, right, the smaller moves are more ramped up. Why? Because due to the gap increasing in the wage, the earned the wages, right, that people earn to the cost of living, that gap is widening, right? So people who are living in your studios, your 1-bedroom apartments, your 2-bedroom apartments, they're looking to save money, right? Because the cost of rent is increasing. The landlords are probably increasing the rent yearly. So when that lease is up, that individual 90, 60 days out is already looking for another place to move to, where they can pay similar to what they're paying now, because they don't want to pay that increase or less, right? So your smaller trucks, your 16 footers, your 17 footers may be ramped up. You may see an increase in volume there, but you may see a decrease in volume with your larger, 3-bedroom home, 4-bedroom home, 5-bedroom home moves, because those are owners versus renters, and they're sitting still due to the lower supply of homes that are out there, plus the increase in interest rates they would pay, plus they'd be paying more for a home than what it's worth, and you'd see the increase on the rental side. So weaknesses would be shifts in the economical landscape, which is out of your control, because that ultimately affects consumer buying behavior, all right, one way or another. And then on the moving side, let's say the way the economy is, the shift in the landscape of how people buy, sell, or rent places. You're going to see an increase on the rental side, probably a decrease on the ownership side. Now let's talk about opportunities, right? Opportunities right now that I would see coming in for my SWOT analysis would be the increase in online sales, right? Online sales are increasing within the next 5 to 6 years. They're going to continue to increase, right? We're going to have more people purchasing things online. This is an opportunity if you're looking to get into the logistics industry on a smaller scale, or on the final mile side, curbside, right? For 26-foot box truck with a lift gate. If you're looking to get on the smaller side, office supplies, smaller furniture items, gig economy, right? A lot of the gig-based apps now are offering dedicated runs, right? The retailers are seeing the benefit of working with 3PLs, but also working with the gig economy, with the gig companies as well, because with the gig companies, this allows the retailers to offer on-demand deliveries, right? has seen a trend that a lot of people will spend money with them, and they'll spend a higher dollar amount if they can get the items more on demand. And this is what the gig apps offer that the 3PLs don't. Why? Because the 3PLs are scheduled. All right, you go to the 3PL in the morning, the stuff is lined up on the dock waiting for you, and you go out and deliver it. Whatever the turnaround time is when you order something now online, and how it goes through the supply chain to the 3PL and how they organize that and schedule it, that could take 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, right? But with going on a website and, let's say, ordering something now with a gig app that's partnered with a retail, whether it be Costco, whether it be, uh, 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 Walmart, whether it be Best Buy, it offers the consumer uh, an option for on demand. And guess what? If I need toilet paper now, I'm willing to pay an extra dollar because I know I just drank some coffee and coffee makes my bowels move. And if I realize I don't got no toilet paper, I can't wait till tomorrow. I got to order me some toilet paper and I need it here within the next couple of hours because my stomach going to get the bubbling in a minute. Right? So that person may be, want to spend that extra dollar and get it. And the gig apps, they offer that on-demand service. So you see Costco, let's say you see Go Share, you see Curry now that offer dedicated routes for retailers, whether it be Sherwin-Williams, whether it be Costco, Tesla, some tire places. The retailers are seeing the importance of the gig apps, right? You can bid on loads on some of these gig apps, just like you can bid on them on the DAT load board. The gig apps weren't like that a few years ago. They're evolving, right? And as time goes on, they're going to continue to evolve. I was talking about this 2 years ago. I said, get in. The content is still there. But everybody was in this euphoric phase of, OTR and Amazon and things like that. And now all that stuff has kind of dissolved. But you see the final mile sector continue to evolve and go up. Even back then, I told you the trick was to pay attention to the consumer buying behavior. Supply and demand is what drives the market. And if there's no demand, there's nothing to move. You have to follow where the demand is at. If you have a cargo van or you got a box truck, or even if you're doing gigs in your own car, you're moving freight. You're moving goods. You're in the service industry of moving goods. You're in the service business of moving goods. Without consumer buying goods, there's nothing to move. So you have to pay attention to consumer buying behavior. This is why I understand why people, say the things that they say. It really, I said this 2 years ago. All right. So there's plenty of opportunity in certain sectors. Certain sectors, the opportunity may present itself today and it may not present itself tomorrow, and vice versa. Right? So this is one of the main reasons why SWOT analysis is important, because you want to know where the opportunities are currently, and you want to know where the opportunities lie in the future, and you want to set yourself up to win as soon as you enter and going into the future. You don't want to be a person who just follows the now and then things transition and then you're left holding the bag. A lot of people got left holding the bag. There's a lot of people who don't do what's in the best interest of them and their business. There's people that live in major cities that are running OTR. I'm like, what for? Why are you running OTR and you live in New York? I mean, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But if you're complaining about, let's say, cheap freight because your operational cost is high and you don't understand that, and you come from a major metropolitan city where you probably can make or guaranteed to make more money staying locally than you would be going over the road because the amount of money that you'd be saving, for one, right? And two, you live in a large market, so opportunity is everywhere around you. I don't understand it. Or if you're from middle America and you live in a small market and your expectations were to get in from, let's say, a local level because you didn't do a business plan, you didn't do a market analysis, you didn't do a SWOT analysis to see where the opportunities were, and you're wondering why you can't find anything, it's because the only option that you have, the only opportunity that you have is to go OTR because your market won't allow for you to be successful from a local standpoint because there's no opportunity there. A lot of people struggle because they don't do this stuff prior to getting in. So those are the opportunities that I see if I were to re-enter into the market today. All right. Finally, threats, right? And there's a multitude of different strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats that I could go down. But I'm just giving you an example of my mind frame if I were to enter in now, if you came in late, at from a mental capacity of where I'm at currently, right? The threats, right? And this is something we talk about all the time. So my major threat, if I were to enter into the market today, in my situation, in my market, entering with what I said I would enter into at the beginning of this live stream from an already experienced mindset. I'm giving an example based from an experience of who I am today, not from a novice. Who I am today. My major threat would be illegal immigration, migrants, right? That would be the biggest threat, right? Because they're going to shake up the market from a price perspective. They're going to shake up the market from a hiring perspective. It's going to increase competition, and competition lowers rates. I understand that them coming into the market from the background that they come from, they're willing to do a lot more for a lot less. I understand this. I'm already seeing it, just looking on thumbtack in the moving category as far as the rates are concerned. I see it already. Now with our governor, passing a law 2 days ago that they can go down to the Secretary of State and get licenses without driver's license without even being a citizen, even more of a threat. So these are threats, right? Because if I want to ramp up our moving business, that $300 an hour for 3 guys that I was able to charge in 2022, I probably wouldn't be able to charge that in 2024. I would still have my premium customer, but I understand that my premium customer in 2022, in 2021, and 2020 may be suffering from the economic challenges that a lot of people are suffering from today, and they may be willing to take a risk on a cheaper mover who they don't have experience with. Yeah, Mark's company is great. They don't break anything. These are guys, they won't come in here and steal. His trucks are clean. His blankets are clean. They have all the materials to wrap and pad everything. But dealing with Mark's company the past, 3 or 4 moves, I know they're going to be efficient. So I know exactly how long this move is going to take. All right. It's taken them 6 hours to do this move. But since the last time we've had a baby, we've acquired more things. So that 6 hour now may take 7 or 8 hours. And I'm looking at $300 an hour times 7 just for the labor. That's $2,100 plus the cost of the truck fee. You know what? We can only afford to pay $200, and we're going to have to be on top of these guys, and we're going to have to make sure that the beds are already broken down. We're going to have to make sure we're going to wrap whatever we can wrap to save as much time as possible, because we're not sure of the new company that we're hiring if they're going to be as efficient. But on top of that, we want to save them time in general. So whatever we can do, whatever we can disassemble, we want to save much time. So these are the things that would concern me. These are threats. And these threats kind of parallel some of the weaknesses, right? Especially like the sourcing talent, not only sourcing talent, sourcing good talent, and then ultimately retaining that good talent. So then now, looking at my strengths, my weaknesses, my opportunities and threats, now I have to sit down and determine which is the best course of action for me at this particular time to enter with the equipment that I have and to be successful. And what I would come up with is it would probably be better to enter from a one-man standpoint, working small and then building my way up. Paying attention to the market, paying attention to consumer buying behavior, paying attention to the economical climate, preparing myself, right? And then transitioning and making shifts along the way, right? But how you start is kind of how you finish, right? So if you don't come in with the right frame of mind at the beginning, right? You're going to have challenges until you change your mindset. And hopefully, you can sustain financially throughout the course of the beginning stages of your business and the learning curve till you get to that point where mentally, you know what, I did this all wrong. I need to change my mindset. I need to get things in order. I need to get a business plan. I need to get a SWOT analysis and get things on the up and up. All right. So that you can start to see things kind of turn around for you and your business. All right. So I told you this was going to be kind of boring, but, I'm not going to, take the opportunity to, be comical with this live stream because I think this is very, very important, and you have to do these things in order to survive. You may be on the new, but there's people out there that are experienced. These are the people that you're going to be competing with for freight. As we see, or as you see, I already know this stuff. It's not a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park like I know you thought it would be. All right. So you have to set yourself up for success. Sipsant, what up? Sipsant, what up, Mark? What you got on Fayetteville, North Carolina in the cargo? Thanks. What do I have on Fayette, North Carolina in the cargo? What do you mean what I got on it? As far as information, I don't live in Fayette, North Carolina. So I can't tell you anything specific about that market. The only thing I can tell you is the same thing I tell everybody in general about getting into the cargo van business. But if you're looking for specifics on that market, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I don't live in that market. Shout out to Drew's World for the that super chat. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Drew says business plans can be created using AI. No excuse not to have one. You definitely can use AI to structure the outline for it. but it does have to, AI is not going to give you specifics, right? So it's not going to give you the specifics. It's going to help you outline it. It may be able to incorporate general information for your sector, right? But it's not going to give you the information that you need, that you're really going to need. Like, for example, competition, right? If you're in a major market, let's say, and like I talked about threats, it's not going to incorporate, let's say, illegal immigration into the threat of the SWOT analysis, right? It's not going to incorporate that, but there is a threat because that's ultimately going to affect rates in your market, right? It's not going to incorporate that. It's not going to incorporate, let's say maybe on the strengths, if you're coming in financially sound, it doesn't know what's in your bank account, right? So AI is going to definitely give you the outline. If you tell Chat GPT that, help me outline a SWOT analysis or a business plan for a box truck business, yeah, it'll give you an outline of the categories for a business plan specifically for a box truck business, right? Whereas if you ask it to give you an outline for a business plan, let's say for a restaurant, there's going to be different things that it's going to outline. It's going to input a sales analysis. You don't really have a need for a sales analysis as you provide. You're a service-based business. But those intricate details, like the ones that I gave examples on earlier in this live stream for a SWOT analysis, not going to go that further into detail, right? So that's why it's important that you do your research. And we talked about journey and in comparison to business content on YouTube. Everybody's journey is not going to be the same, right? So this is why it's very important that your business plan is your business plan, because the way you enter your market, your idea of what you want to do, all that stuff you're going to find out, and it's going to give you all the information you need when you're going through the research process of creating your business plan. My journey is not going to be the same as your journey. If you live in Montana and I'm here in Chicago, my outlook on the box truck business in any sector, it could be local, it could be OTR, it could be Amazon, it could be moving, it could be whatever, gig-based economy. My outlook and my journey is going to be different from yours. One of the main reasons is because my market versus your market. There's going to be challenges that you are going to be faced with that I'm not going to be faced with. There's challenges that I'm going to be faced with that you're not going to be faced with. Yes, there's opportunity that presents itself, but let's say I may have to work harder than you, even though I have all these opportunities. And let's say if certain opportunities in your market present themselves, you may not have to work hard, because guess what? There's a certain amount of money, if I'm coming in on new, that I still have to earn to live, because let's say the cost of living is higher here, whereas the cost of living there is not as high. So there's going to be challenges that I'm faced with. There's going to be challenges you face with, but that journey ain't going to be the same. There's going to be opportunities that are presented to me that may not be presented to that individual, right? Because of geographical location, our journey will never be the same. That's why whoever brought that up yesterday, that was a great point. When you consume content, a lot of people consume journey-based content. And when I used to talk about this, and there's nothing wrong with it, but when I used to talk about this 2 years ago, I used to get a lot of flack for a lot of shit. But everything is coming to fruition. Everybody's journey ain't going to be the same. Business information is universal. Your cost per mile, the formula cost per mile, is a universal thing. I don't give a goddamn if the person in Montana is doing cost per mile, person in Illinois is doing it, person in Florida is doing it, person in New York is doing it, person in California is doing it, person in Phoenix is doing it. The equation is the equation. But each state that I just named, each individual person's journey is going to be the same. Me watching someone's journey who's based out of Florida is not going to be beneficial to me in any sector. I'm in Chicago, so outbound freight is awesome. 3 million people living here, so there's plenty of opportunity, right, for volume. Whether you do Amazon, whether you do gigs, whether you do curbside final mile, whether you do big and bulky final mile, due to the amount of people that live here and due to the amount of money that's being circulated. I mean, this is a rich city. Moving is always going to be up, whereas the person in Florida, we already know outbound freight is horrible. So coming in, looking at a person from my geographical location, watching journey-based content for someone that's coming out of Florida, listen to them complain about how the freight is not worth it and how it's cheap, how there's no freight because this person is new and they don't understand that they're geographically, they're just in a bad location for freight. And me not knowing, being in a market where the freight is great, but I'm looking at this journey-based content thinking that the industry is trash, not realizing because I'm new that this person that's also new doesn't understand that they're in a geographic location where this freight is just not good anyway. So it's not really helping me, not realizing I'm in a gold mine, but I'm listening to this journey-based shit. Instead of buckling down, doing my own business plan, focusing on my own market analysis, looking at the strengths and what I'm trying to do based on my geographical location, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Wait a minute, hold on. What is this guy talking about? There's plenty of opportunity. But that's what the problem is. People don't do what's in the best interest for them. They look to see to mimic other people's stuff, and everybody's journey is not going to be the same. It's just not. So if there's any questions, I'll take them. Other than that, that's all I had to really talk about. I wanted to knock out the SWOT analysis, give people the an example of what it is and how to create one and why it's important. Shout out to Great Polo, shout out to Pippi, shout out to Jules World for that super chat, Ken Hooten, Kirk Morris, all in one, Brandon Williams. All right, no questions. I will see you guys mañana. Peace.